Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattle Tales from the Vector. This is a general or collective reading, so just be aware parts may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and leave the rest. Also, this is a timely reading, so if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it has been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity as to your situation now. All right, so we're going to begin with the underlying energy at the bottom of the deck, and we have Temperance. Temperance is representing what a lot of people refer to as the Earth Angel card. It's about having patience and controlling your emotions, basically. It's about staying on your designated path, your destiny, and that is called the path of glory. We have the sun shining here at the top of the hill, and that's representing God's plan and God's will. This is representing the angel is standing in the universal waters, and she has her right foot in the water while she's alchemizing her energy and adding it to the universal pool. And she has her left foot grounded on land here. And look at where she has her foot. This is where the flowers are already growing. So this is about staying on your, on purpose. And generally the purpose for all of us is to be the best version of ourselves that we can be and add beauty to the earth make it a better place. And then we have this energy of the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is representing someone he's standing at the top of his turret here. The wands represent the element of fire, and they represent passionate action. They're made of wood because wood fuels fire. And so this is talking about this person. This always reminds me of an entrepreneur that is standing at the top of the turret of his castle, and he has one wand planted. And this is saying he's been very successful, but he has the world globe in his hands, and I have the world in my hands. But he realizes that he actually lives in a small village. And so he's like a big fish in a little pond, and he realizes that to really expand to the extent that he wants to, he's going to have to expand his horizons and probably relocate to a bigger center for his business anyway. And sometimes this can be about wanting to expand, maybe invite someone into your life to expand your family. So maybe finding that special someone to have a family with, that type of energy. This could represent an entrepreneur energy, very successful where he's at, but now he needs to maybe start at another location as well, or change locations. Sometimes this can talk about wanting to go global, go overseas, that type of energy. And then we have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is representing wanting to quiet the mind. The rough water here represents volatile emotions, and it represents sometimes chaos in your life. So this is saying this person wants to push off and move on to calmer waters. And this represents, the conveyor represents someone who's taking, talking about meditation and prayer, and that taking you to calmer spaces with God. This quite often can represent the energy of the inner child energy. This could be you might be someone that had a difficult childhood, and you need some healing of your inner child. And so that it can represent that type of energy. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is known to be very resourceful. She can make something out of nothing. She prefers quality over quantity. So she comes from generational wealth, and this is like a legacy that's passed down from one generation to the next. But I always wonder, why does the queen have to be so resourceful if she comes from generational wealth? So I feel like this is someone who was raised with money, but maybe the family had something happen where, economic conditions, whatever, or she has in her own life where now she does not have the money coming into her life that she would be used to. But this is not just talking about money. This is talking about lifestyle. So this is health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional plane. And she could have all the money in the world, and if she's not living the lifestyle that she wants to live, then she's not going to be happy. So this is talking about having a strong lifestyle, whatever that is. And then this is the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles represents a reward coming in from God and the universe collaborating, because you have stayed on your path of glory here. And this is saying, this is a reward, and that more pentacles are coming in. You won't have to be that resourceful for soon, because this reward is coming in from the spiritual realm, and it will improve your lifestyle greatly. The aces are all about new energy coming in. I'm all up for that. Let's have some new energy come in. That's these days right now, we had a lot of astrological influences that are really saying we've got to embrace the new energy. We have to adapt. We can't keep doing things the same old way. It's not working as well as it could be, and it's time to, if you want to expand your horizons, you're going to need to adapt to change. And we have here, this is very similar energy to the Two of Pentacles or Two of Wands, but this is more saying that this is someone who's standing on the edge of change. And he's looking off into the distance at the distant horizon there. Hello, little kitten. Do you want to come up here for the reading? All right. Nope. Just came up here to knock the camera and throw things off kilter. So, this is talking about him looking into the distance and wanting to go on an adventure. It looks like this is sand, but this is actually just the sun shining on the sunset or sunrise, shining on the water, and it's golden. There's ships sailing by, and he wants to hop on a ship and go on an adventure. That's what he's in the mood for. And quite often this card can recognize the energy of someone who is perhaps been in a couple, and now they are making a change, and they're carrying on as a single person. And then we have the being left out in the cold energy. So there's some sort of something that happened here. There's chaos and wanting to move forward and wanting to move on and having to be resourceful and doing your best to stay on your path, but feeling like really left out in the cold, like in an energy of, not feeling isolated from society, not being, not feeling like you have what you need. There's two people here, and there's only 5 pentacles. There's 10 pentacles in the tarot that are available for, and so this is talking about like not having enough to even support a home, being homeless, that type of energy, being in poverty. And this person is actually on crutches, and he's got a big bell around his neck. That's because they've deemed him to be carrying a plague of some sort. And in those days, they didn't have apps to isolate people when there was plagues going around. So they would tie a big bell around someone's neck and force them to wear it. And this energy is talking about being forced to wear this bell. So when he came into town, people could hear him coming from a distance and get out of his way, which would make it very difficult to get work, as you can imagine, or to get groceries or do shopping or, participate in other societies' adventures, basically. So this energy is talking about, he's also with someone who doesn't even have shoes in the snow. Sometimes this can represent tactics being taken to put someone in this position. Sometimes it can be like energy, just, like right now, all over the world, there's a lot of people who are experiencing like high inflation and high mortgage rates and, just a high interest and just expensive groceries, the price of oil being up, that type of energy. So a lot of people are feeling a bit of a pinch here. And so the tactics sometimes are just like life, basically, like whatever's happening at the top of the pyramid, definitely has an effect on everybody. So right now with what's going on in the world politically and globally, it's affecting a lot of people in this way. So a lot of people are feeling a lot of this kind of this energy of feeling like out of sorts, you know. And the moon, we had a new moon 2 nights ago, and this moon is actually in the sign of Taurus. And so this energy is about that. It's about the pentacle energy, and like the Taurus energy wants to feel secure, have a good home, have that lifestyle. So this would be their worst nightmare, sitting on this energy here, not having a partner, like not having that traditional home kind of energy. And so, and across from the energy of Taurus on the horoscope wheel, we have the energy of Scorpio. So whatever the sign is across from you on the wheel of the horoscope, that is going to affect your energy, like that sign's energy to a great degree as well. So this is talking about the moon. This the lobster is recognizing, I want to stay on my path, but he feels very vulnerable climbing out of this emotional water and staying on this path of glory when he has to go between this dog and this wolf who are howling at the moon. And this also represents eclipse energy and the energy of the full moon and the new moon. We just did have an eclipse season on February 17th and again on March 3rd. We had 2 eclipses. This energy is like potpourri burning, you know, or bubbling on the back burner of your stove. It's, you know, for about 6 months it's around, but you don't really notice it. But then when you look back 6 months later, like in August, you'll say, whoa, look at all the changes that happened in my life. And you'll be like kind of surprised, because when there's a lot of change happening in our lives, a lot of the time we don't notice it because we're so involved in it. And then this is talking about, definitely there's been some sort of energy here of disappointment in love. Generally, this is talking about romantic love. It can be the energy of a third party energy. You know, we have 2 cups of wine, and then we have this one that's spilled here that has a different liquid in it. We also have this 2 cups behind us. So this card is saying, like, you could stand here disappointed in regret and remorse for the rest of your life. Now, if you were the one that stepped out in the relationship, this could represent the regret and remorse you have because perhaps your partner has left you and said, goodbye, I'm not tolerating this. Or perhaps your partner has done that and you're the one who has left. But this is basically saying this is something you can't recover. If you've ever heard this saying, don't cry over spilt milk, that is saying, like, if you know, once this in this case it's wine and whatever this other liquid is, but this is saying, and once it's spilt in the ground, you can't get it back out. So there's no point in standing there. You could stand there for the rest of your life and feel this loss and never recover. And quite often some people do. Like, if it's they're feeling devastated enough, they never choose to love again or have that in their life again. But the best thing you can do is look at the 2 cups standing, pick them up, go down the path here, you know, cross the bridge over troubled waters to your castle. And even the castle looks like it's half standing and half dilapidated, but this represents are you going to have an attitude where the glass is half full, or are you going to have an attitude where the glass is half empty? And then we also have this energy of the 2 of Swords. This is talking about having a closed mind. In this energy that we're in right now on the planet, it is really, really beneficial to have an open mind. And a big part of being with the sword energy, this is talking about discipline of your mind. This person can only see 2 options, this or that, my way or the highway, quite often. And so being in this energy can be really frustrating, especially if neither one of the this or that is something that you want to take action on. So she's sitting here and this energy is really draining her. And we can see this by her feet being turned out like this. She's draining both her masculine and her feminine energy. And it's causing her to have, less it's making the situation way worse. She has this energy of protecting her heart. You know, her arms are crossed over her heart, which is saying that she's feeling vulnerable. And also the right arm is holding the left arm back. So this is your logic, and this would in body language represent your intuition. So her logical mind doesn't want to accept it doesn't want to feel, basically, and doesn't want to accept intuitive answers. But if you mix logic and intuition, these swords are double-edged, then you're going to be able to come up with creative solutions. There's never only two ways of doing anything. And once you start using both, you'll start to notice, oh, there's a lot more creative solutions to this problem. And we do have the new moon here, which is representing, you know, during the new moon and the full moon cycles, that's when we are way more intuitive. And then we have the energy of the Queen of Cups here. And so this is talking about, the Queen of Cups is one of 4 of the queens in the minor arcana. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles here, and now we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is talking about love quite often. This can be like a romantic partner. She's most likely to be in a traditional marriage, and she's the most maternal of all the queens. Like, this would be someone who would be a stay-at-home mom, you know, really likes to build a home, enjoys her children, enjoys, you know, keeping the house and having a beautiful yard and all of that type of energy. This is someone who also has, like, she has, her cup is like a trophy for her of all of how much she's a kind and loving person. And so this is talking about, she has a lid on her cup, and this is representing that she is a container of unconditional love. And this energy sometimes can also represent your maternal bloodline, or if you're married, it can also represent your spouse's maternal bloodline, so your mother-in-law and her bloodline. And we have a knight coming in here, the Knight of Pentacles. The knights, of course, would be, you know, traveling far and wide to deliver messages and communication from the kings and queens between the different kingdoms, and protecting them, etc. Like, you know, running, you know, going through the kingdom and protecting the people. And this energy is also talking about the communication coming through. The Knight of Pentacles, his pentacle, like, when he comes in, he's so slow. Out of all the knights, he's the slowest one of all. Like, his horse is literally at a standstill here. And so this energy can represent that, again, this energy here of really having a hard time making a decision of what to do because of feeling like you can't find the right solution. But when the information does finally come in, usually there's been it's usually a pretty strong offer, and it's real. Like, so he has done his homework. You know, he makes sure that the information he's bringing in is as accurate as possible. And then we have the Empress energy. So the Empress is talking about, she's in the major arcana, and she embodies the qualities of all 4 queens from the minor arcana. This is a status that she has because of all that she's learned from whatever she's gone through in her life, and still managing to have a good attitude, you know, be patient, stay on her path, be the best version she can be. She's admired for that ability. And, you know, at this point, this could be saying that these 2 queens, that these are 2 qualities that she has adopted. She said sometimes to be pregnant with possibilities. So this can sometimes represent a pregnancy. So be very careful if you don't want to be pregnant right now, because this is saying you're very fertile. And the Empress energy is, she's growing wheat here. And, you know, this is saying what she does, she's very successful. She is known for growing bumper crops. And that's because she takes the time to plan it out. So if she's going to grow a crop, she'll be, okay, now is that durum or is that wheat? Which field am I going to plant it in? is the soil, does the soil need amending? Do I need to fertilize? I've got to make sure that the stones and the rocks are picked so that when the seeding and harvesting equipment runs over the land, it doesn't get damaged. And then I've got to make sure that I have this seeded at the most opportune time. The rest of it I'm going to leave up to nature. She's an organic farmer, so she doesn't spray. And then she waves her wand and says, "Thank you, nature. Please do your business for me." She doesn't worry about it. She knows she's done everything that she can. And she's just going to wait and see what the result is. And, you know, she's got a pretty good track record, so she doesn't worry about the result. She knows I've done what I can. That's the best I can do. That's all I'm willing to do. And that kind of brings us to this energy here. This is saying that this person is used to being in this energy, but for whatever reason, why does the queen have to be so resourceful? It's like I've put all this energy into, you know, this is 7 Pentacles is a substantial amount of coin and money, time, energy invested in something. Like if you think about the 10 of Pentacles being the billionaire, trillionaire energy, then the 9 would be multimillionaire and 8 would be a millionaire. So 7 is like probably, you know, getting up there around 700-800K. And so this is talking about an energy of this person is used to being successful, but for whatever reason, they're having to be more resourceful. And they're wondering, like, should I even continue with this investment, this project, this relationship? Like it's affecting my lifestyle in a really negative way. I'm not getting the return I'm used to getting. And this is someone like that's used to being successful. So they're really questioning, like, what is it? But I feel like that's where a lot of people are sitting right now because of that, all that energy we had during the, like around, it's been like ever since actually the new year started, it has been like very volatile astrologically. But, you know, there was 6 planets moved into the sign of Aries, Neptune, Saturn, and then a bunch of other ones. And Neptune will be in Saturn for the next 14 years. And that's about how we approach life, our idealism, how do we do things. And this is about in relationships and business and everything. So it's kind of like everything that we used to do. It was in Pisces for the last 14 years, and now it's in Aries. And Pisces is like the last sign in the zodiac, the senior executive. And Aries is like a newborn baby energy. Like we got to learn how to do everything new again. And it's so irritating and frustrating at sometimes. You know, even when your phone updates, like my phone updated the other day and I didn't realize that the setting on it changed it so that I didn't receive phone calls that were unknown numbers, like, which made it really difficult to receive packages. And I couldn't figure out what the heck. And I'm like, this is a phone. Why would you, why would the setting be that, you know, you don't receive phone calls like without telling you that, oh, your phone's updated now and you're not going to receive phone calls from unknown callers. It was really irritating. And like, it's like those little irritations that add up when you're already dealing with learning about technology and you know, doing your best to keep up. And you know, there's all these things happening in the world that are making it more difficult, and you're thinking, geez, technology is supposed to make my life easier and it's made it more difficult. And then we come to the 9 of Swords, and the 9 of Swords energy is representing this energy of you know, you're a never-ending nightmare. And a lot of people are receiving this card right now. A lot of people feel like, oh my God, I can't take any more of this. I'm in a rut. The same thing keeps happening over and over again. I feel like every day's the same, struggling to move forward, kind of energy, like out of this, like, can we have some good news? Like, you know, that type of energy. So a lot of people are feeling the pinch right now of what's going on at the top, and that's trickling down. The price of oil is affecting people in a big way. A lot of people are really concerned about that. A lot of people are concerned about the real estate market, you know, the value of housing. There's just, it's just like if you listen to all the, the top news. That's why I recommend finding out what's going on in the world, but only to a certain extent. Like 5 minutes a day would be enough, really, of watching the news. But it's a good idea to know what's going on, so you know what the newest trends are, and maybe there's something really interesting and that would be a good business idea. And it's also really good to just know what's going on in the world, because it does have an effect on all of us to a certain extent. So you're not alone if you're feeling this. And this energy is partly also because we had also the energy of Uranus moved into the sign of Gemini, and it hasn't been there since 1941 to 1949. And that was like during World War II, that energy, and like everything that happened after that. And it's kind of like it's just that type of energy where it makes people nervous. It's a lot of change happening quickly, like jumping around change. Gemini is very quick-witted energy, and Gemini Gemini can change. They can handle fast change like that. They're very adaptive compared to other signs. So this is talking about learning from that energy and embracing it, and understanding that like it's going to be like that. Uranus is going to be in the sign of Gemini for the next 7 to 8 years. So it's not like it's going away soon. I'm just saying, a truth a day keeps the devil at bay. Or just, just know that something is if you turn on the news or whatever, something is going to have happened, and it's going to be like, no way, not that too. It's just that type of energy. And so there's no use getting upset over it. It's better to, have an open mind and be able to adapt to the energy rather than fighting it. Fighting it is just going to be exhausting. And sometimes this energy can represent waking up from, like having meditated and prayed and waking up from a dream and wanting to remember it. Quite often our ancestors will do their best to reach us, or Holy Spirit will come upon us. And like if you calm your mind and you get and you discipline your mind to be quiet and just allow yourself to feel with your heart, then you can at least know what direction you feel like you want to go in, rather than just letting your mind get you in a loop of worry and anxiety. And so sometimes this can just represent doing your best to remember a dream. The quilt on this bed has cosmic symbols, and it's saying the universe has us covered. But it's saying you're going to have to get out of bed. Like if you want to have a good outcome, you need to participate in your future. And it's about getting, with the program. And also I noticed on here a few days ago, like there's swords, there's people fighting with swords in the wood carving here, and I'm like, that's probably not the best carving to be sleeping on, because the swords represent your mental intelligence and your you're thinking and overthinking. And so maybe don't sleep on a bed with people fighting with swords carved underneath it. Not that I'm sure that many people do, but it's kind of talking about that energy though, adapting and not taking it so seriously. And this can also represent like just being bored with the same old shift, that type of energy. And so embracing some new energy coming in would be a good idea. And then we have the King of Swords. The King of Swords has been coming in a lot, and I feel like that's because there's a lot of energy happening, at the top of the pyramid right now. And so this is talking about the politicians and that type of energy. This is someone that earns their living. Their career would be using their mental intelligence, their ability to use words, their thoughts, etc. And words can be written or they can be spoken. And politician energy this can represent, this is a king. So it can represent president, prime minister, people in the Senate, in Congress, people who have pull, that make the laws, that make the decisions at the top, that affect all of us, down below. And this energy can also represent legalities in the world, situations like courts and lawyers. If these would be people that are at the top of their game. So in the upper, like if this is a lawyer, this would be someone that would be maybe a partner in an established firm. This energy could be about researchers. This could be about inventors, engineers, maybe even a best-selling author, social media influencers. People that are doing really, really well, and they're at the top of their game, but they're using their mind to and their words to be able to earn their living. And this is talking also about perhaps you are applying yourself in that and learning that words have a lot of power, especially the words we speak to ourselves and what we say about ourselves to ourselves and about how our life is going. So wanting to keep, a strong energy around that. And also, this is saying like words can be used as weapons, and they can also be used as to uplift people. And the King of Swords is very much aware of this, and also understand that actions do speak louder than words. And if you give your word and then you don't follow it up with action, then you're probably going to have your word becomes worthless. And then we have the truth coming in to a situation. So this energy just feels like there's a lot of disarray, it feels like there's a lot of just a bunch of factors coming together that are causing, that's how life is sometimes. If you've ever noticed that, like one thing goes wrong, it's like a domino effect. And that's what that's the kind of energy I'm feeling right now. It's kind of like one thing goes wrong and then that causes another problem and another problem. And that's not unusual in real life. Like if someone is feeling like they have to be really resourceful, and then we're in this energy where on the news it's constantly talking about how groceries are going to go up even higher and all of that type of energy. People, the economy not being good, all of the strife around the world, oil going up, all of that energy can be really, you have to learn to just take it with a grain of salt and say and move forward. So this is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God. So some truth is coming in, and a big part of that truth is the reward of knowing, hey, there can be all these problems in the world, but there's a lot of good going on in the world that we don't hear about, that people aren't focused on. And so this is, where are you going to put your thoughts? What are your words going to be spoken about? What are you saying to yourself? So it's that type of energy. And the truth is, you're more than just a human being. You have a soul, and you have an ability to be able to be much more than just your physical body. You are much more than that. So you're not an insignificant, helpless being. You are very powerful when you're standing in your truth. And this is a reward, like God's reminding us of this here. And then we have conception coming in. So if you've been thinking about launching a project, now is the best time, especially if it's something new, a new thought. This is talking about, if you have launched it, it's saying it's taking off already. So this is talking about conception of the beginning of something coming, that you're sending out there. And this is really good energy to be like looking into, like with all this new energy coming in. And everybody adapting to the new energy. This is a great time to test new ideas, even just in small ways, and also make small experiments to see, if I just tweak it this way, does that make a difference? Is that going to bring in a better result? It's that type of energy. And so being willing to take small experiments, observe what's working, double up on what's working, and let go. It's not like, the energy now is not so much about staying with something and trying to fix a problem, so much as finding another way to do something to adapt to the energy, and see if you do it this way. Do a little experiment and see, if I do it this way, are my results better or are they worse? If they're worse, you stop right away. If they're better, you can double up on that and move forward in that direction. There is a tower coming in, or there has been a tower recently here is the energy I'm getting. And this is when you're not listening to your intuition and you're continuing to do things in the same old way because it always worked before. That kind of energy, and things are like not the same. So this is saying listen to your intuition, because if you can catch something and nip it in the bud, then you don't have to have like a crisis, you know. You can the tower represents when some people have been not living in the reality, and now it's hit, and it's like now it's a bunch of things hitting at once, the domino effect, because of not paying attention earlier. Sometimes you can stop a tower from coming in, and sometimes you can't. The tower is always uncomfortable, but in the end, quite often you'll look back on it and say, it's the truth coming in, and the truth will always set you free. And if people are believing that they can be in an energy where, oh, no one will ever find out this or that, we're seeing that that energy you know, at the very top of the pyramid there. We're seeing it every day with the files that came out and all the people that thought, oh, they'll never get caught. It'll never, like, yes, eventually our actions do catch up with us, and that's the truth. And so this is talking about a tower hitting, and it's uncomfortable, but it's a reality check, and we need to, like, if we don't do reality checks for ourselves now and again, then it ends up being more of a crisis rather than just a little blip on the screen, if you understand what I'm saying. And then we have the sun coming in, and this is God's energy. It's saying, you know, if you do your best to be a good person, be the best person that you can be, put that energy out there. It may feel like other people who aren't doing that are being more productive, but in the end, your actions always do catch up with you. The truth always does come out. It's always known to be this way. And God is saying you were meant to be happy, and you were meant to be living a happy life and be on your destined path of you have your own special qualities. Don't let people tell you that you're just insignificant and you can't do anything about your life or whatever. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to stay on your path as best you can. This young child is on this pony, and they are fearless. There's no reins. They're carrying this heavy banner which represents the destiny. All the sunflowers are like turning to the sun, and this is representing being happy. This is the energy that you're meant to be in. This is God's energy is the happiest energy in the deck, and it's talking about this energy of you know, of God shining his light, the truth coming out, and that this energy, this too shall pass. If you look back in history, you know, things were really challenging, for sure, from 1941 to 1949, but then life improved again, and there's ups and downs in life, and you know, that is life. And it's about, are you going to look at, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty again? That's what it's saying here. And this is talking about the Emperor energy. The Emperor is like the Empress. He embodies all four kings instead of the queens in the minor arcana. And we've had just the King of Swords showing up. And in my readings, I've had a lot of Kings of Sword, the Emperor, the Empress showing up together. So I'm not quite sure yet what that's about. But this is about high-level performance. Generally, the Emperor is, you know, he wears his armor underneath his robe. He's ready at a moment's notice to take action, to grab an opportunity. This is major alpha male energy. He's considered to be very wise, and this would be an authority figure. He'd be at the top of his game, whatever he's doing. So this energy is sitting next to the sun here. And this is saying, what God is saying is anyone could, through life experience and staying on their path, be at their highest level of performance. And so this is an energy that's available to you. So don't let other people tell you otherwise. And this is talking, the Nine of Cups is talking about this person is on a stage for all to see. And it's basically saying that each and every person out there. These 9 cups here are representing, there's only 10 cups of love in the tarot. So this is saying that you can be the best version of yourself, and you can be honest, like your own, everybody's on their own stage basically. And this is, you notice the energy here, the body language is very similar. Except we see this person is not 100% focused because their lower body is leaking energy. But their arms are they're lower than here. It's not over the heart. And they're almost in the sign of like an infinity symbol. And so this reminds me of genie energy. And it's these cups can be in the past behind them, or are they above his head, or are they slightly forward? So this is in the future. And this is talking about, things can change very rapidly in your energy with your attitude. And so allowing yourself to be vulnerable again, opening your heart up, and being in like this possibility. But this card is saying, stay focused, stay on your path. Don't give in to all the fear and, all the bad news and that kind of energy. Move forward, keep moving forward, be the best version you can be of yourself. And that's going to benefit you more than anything. These times are not that easy right now that we're in. Like humanity's in some real strange times right now. There's a lot of change, and a lot of people are feeling like the rug's been pulled out in many ways. Having said that, sometimes that's when the opportunities come in if you keep an open mind. So an open mind right now in this energy is your very, very best friend, as well as being able to stay focused on moving forward and remembering what words you're using to yourself to keep your energy flowing. And not give in to fear, and not give in to the negative energy that might be around you. And this is talking from the bottom up, saying like having like this, entrepreneur spirit, like approaching the change as an adventure kind of energy. This being, sometimes having to be very patient for the results to come in. And that's or for information to come in, but it is on its way. And when, like, the good news is if with the Knight of Pentacles, it might be slow, but when it gets there, you usually can rely on it. And Empress, like, because someone's taken the care, so it's about taking the care to make sure that double check and do your best that you can in that regard. This is again saying like building up to this energy of Empress status where you handle it and you just know there's no point. Worrying never served anyone. The number one weakness for a child is a mother's worry. If your own mother can't see the potential in you, then who's going to? So it's about, there's no point in worrying about anything. You may have noticed it doesn't do any good. It's better just to move forward, listen to your intuition so that maybe you can nip things in the bud before it becomes like a crisis. But even sometimes when these towers hit, you'll be looking back on it like a year later and you'll say, you know what? It was really hard, but it was the best thing that could have happened at that time because it made me wake up to see what was going on around me. And then we have the sun energy. This is the happy energy. This is how we're meant to be. And that's a choice. You can focus on all the negative, or you can focus on what's going right in your life. And you're much better off if you focus on what works than what doesn't work. And the direction you want to go rather than the direction you don't want to go. And this is about having that focus so that you can be high-level performance. The truth will always come out. It does. And, watch your words, especially when you're speaking to yourself. And, this is talking about a lot of illusions and hidden secrets that have been happening in the world for millennia, like that have been going on a long time, are coming out at this time. It's not your imagination. This is different from our, this energy of Uranus for the next 8 years. I mean, a truth a day is not going to hurt us. I mean, it can be hard to hear sometimes, but This is also happening in your own life, and it's when you have the truth, it really does give you the correct information to be able to move forward in a strong way. And yeah, feeling isolated. A lot of people maybe are feeling this energy at this time, like things aren't going the way they expected it to. But a lot of times, rejection is God's protection. So just realize that. Do your best to be patient here. It's hard to be patient. When I say patient, I don't mean sit still though and not keep doing it. Keep moving forward, making progress. That's what this is saying. You'll be rewarded for just these. What I feel like this is saying is the small little steps that we take, the small consistent steps of action that we take, build up and they gain force, and then it propels us forward. Whereas like if we stay in a negative energy and we just never get out of bed, we're going to, 6 months later, we're going to look back after the eclipse season and say, yeah, things stayed the same. Well, because you didn't make the changes that you needed to make. And so this is it's challenging to do at this time for a lot of people. I'm kind of enjoying this energy myself. I'm thinking, I don't mind. I have a lot of Sagittarius energy, so I kind of like, having new adventures and going, different cultures and exploring information and that. So, but I like everybody else, I find some of this very challenging, and I have to really stop myself and say, okay, well, learning about technology, I'm getting better and better at it. That type of energy. I've changed my attitude. Whoa, this really wanted to come out. So I'm going to clarify for those who want clarification. If you're leaving the reading here, if you've lasted this long, thank you for your time and energy. And let's move forward. And we're going to clarify with my oracle cards, Tales from the Vector. This is from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. And we do have the numbers on these cards are representing in my gallery on my website, talesfromthevector.com. I do have a gallery, and these are how the paintings are numbered. So if you want to check them out, you can. This is courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. There's a lot of dragon energy in that. I've been working on this since 2007, and in 2020 I completed the paintings, but my life got really busy, and now I finally have time to dedicate to doing readings for this channel. I'm really enjoying it. It was really this channel was really intimidating to do, and now I'm getting oh, okay, now I know how to do those. It was a lot of technology, a lot of learning how to edit, learning how to do a lot of things that I haven't done before. So it's been really, I've enjoyed the learning curve. I mean, at times it's been frustrating, but I enjoy that. I feel like, man, when I look back now, just over the last 6 months of my life, when I started really applying myself to this channel, I've learned so much about technology, and it feels way better being in this energy. So yeah, the Chariot is talking about the power of spin. It's moving forward, and this is happening on the spiritual realm, and it's coming down to the physical. Sometimes it takes time. This is talking about the karmic space of intention. So you can have the best intentions, and sometimes you may have noticed things don't work out the way that you thought they were going to. They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so, sometimes things just don't go the way you expect them to. And it's like, okay, let it go, move forward and do your best to be in a new energy the next day. And this is about you're a star, so is everybody else. So recognize that, we all have our own special qualities. We are not an insignificant person. You matter. Even if you're feeling like you're in this energy, at times, everybody feels like this at different times in their life. But sometimes it's as I said, rejection can be God's protection. So the foolhardy energy is when you just be the best person you can be. Take it one day at a time and move forward. And, this is about having the courage to really take a look at, okay, what's really going on here? Is there something I can do to shift myself to do some things in a different way and not be stubborn and be in this closed mind energy? And this is also talking about the shooting star. This is about, this energy here. Like if, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? Because, you can wish upon a star, but that means you don't have it. If you're wishing for it, it means you don't have whatever you're wishing for. So you need to apply yourself. And so having a good attitude can go a really long way to, rather than just sitting there or standing there in remorse and loss and feeling like nothing's ever going to improve, or not getting out of bed kind of energy. We have the Scorpio energy coming in. So this is talking about, sometimes, like I was saying, with this Taurus moon, that the new moon, opposing that energy is Scorpio. And Scorpio likes taking shift apart and putting it back together and seeing if they can do it differently. And so this is something we could all learn to maybe from that energy. And I just want to point out, when horoscope signs come up in my readings, I'm not talking about individuals. Oh, it was a Scorpio that did this or that. I'm talking about the quality of the sign. What can we learn from this energy? We can learn from each other and understand each other. Scorpio at its best unites people and gets people to elevate their energy, to conquer the problems of the earth instead of conquering problems, or being conquering other people. And there is a tower again saying, I feel this reading is just about, if you're feeling like there's one tower after another. A lot of people are experiencing this in a lot of the readings. And I feel it's just the energy, how it is right now. It's because there's so much change happening. It's happening really quickly. And sometimes what we perceive to be our reality is actually, it's changed. And so we have to adapt to it. And again, that's sitting on this keep an open mind energy. This is talking, the worst divorce is from source. Just do your best to be the best version of you can be. That's basically the best that any of us can do. High level performance, learn from the Emperor and the Empress energy. They're both powerful manifestors, all about performance, but they do it without pushing the energy. They just stand in it, and they do their best to rise up to the occasion. And that's why they tend to be more in the flow than out of the flow. And the energy is, having expectations will always create limitations. So if it has to, like if you're saying to the universe, I want this and I want that, but then the universe is saying, well, could you just try doing it this way once, instead of having to have everything happen exactly as you expect it to? Because expectations create limitations. You could say to the universe, I just want to at least make $100,000 this year. And the universe is going, only 100,000? I was going to send you 1,000,000, but if you only want 100,000. So that's the kind of, you don't want to limit yourself with expectations. You want to keep an open mind and anticipate the energy coming through, that you're in the flow. And then it takes a lot of courage right now, and this is coming up twice here. Sometimes it's just as simple as breathing. Like a lot of times people hold their breath when they're stressed out, and that just makes things worse. So just remember, it may sound silly, but remember to take a deep breath and breathe. Take time to go for a walk around the block or whatever before you feel like you're going to give up, that type of energy, or phone someone and say I give up, I'm not doing this anymore. Instead, take a walk around the block, get some fresh air, do something to switch up the energy a bit. And you may find that when you come back 20 minutes later, you're like, okay, I'm ready, I can give it another try or go for it, And a lot of this does come from past life traumas and trauma in general around, it's just a lot of people really don't like change. And you know, the funny thing is that change is happening every second of every minute of every day. And the problem I feel is a lot of the times the change we hear about is always the negative change. And so you have to look for the positive changes as well. And when you start getting in the habit of doing that and focusing on the positive changes and what's going right, all of a sudden things start going, there's more right happening in your life. And then you get into that flow. And so I feel that that's what this is saying. Like, you are not alone if you're feeling this energy is a little bit challenging to deal with these days at times. And there is like a lot of information coming in really fast, and there is a lot of change. There's no doubt about it. So just take a deep breath, and you know, I really feel that for most of us, we need to find that something that we can do to shift our energy, whether that's go for a walk or have a hot bath or do whatever it is you need to do, but don't give up. Keep moving forward, and things will shift in your favor eventually. All right. I do hope you've enjoyed this, that it's been beneficial. I just feel like a heavy energy right now, and I feel like it has that the energy is the heavy emotions from this new moon that came in. And I give it a like and comment if you have received benefit, and also consider subscribing if you resonate with the energy of the channel. I will be back with another daily reading again for you tomorrow. Bye for now.